New home sales crash. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian.Heise and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee that I'm working through and I thought we'd have a look at the new home sales data and how it's taken a sharp hit last month. Now before we go through the sample of the data available from the HIA, let's jump over to trading economics and just have a look at what they've got here. We can just see, it's quite clear, you can see the change in new home sales. So Australia's new home sales fell 4.2% from a month earlier in May 2020 after a 1.1% decrease in April. Data from the Housing Industry Association showed the decline in new home sales was mainly due to a fall in consumer confidence, with households cancelling or delaying housing purchase decisions given the uncertainty in the economy. And if we jump here, we can see, well, consumer confidence, yeah, it's kind of sitting where it is at the moment. It's horrific. New home sales fell by 20.3% in the 3 months to May 2020 compared to the previous 3 months. By jurisdiction, South Australia declined the most, falling 31.7% in the 3 months to May, followed by New South Wales at 25.3%, Western Australia at 19%, Queensland at 18.7%, and Victoria at 16.5%. So let's max out this chart, and we can have, look at this, everyone. So we can see here the huge spike in the early 2000s. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. And then slowly trending down since there. Since then, new home sales have just, wow. The high was at 20,000. Think about this, the high was at 20,000 and the low is at 3,647 and we're at the low. We're at the low. In all the history of this data since back. Now, this is important here. This is what was forecast. Okay, March, it was forecast an 8% decline. It actually declined 23.2%. 23.2%. In May, the decline, the forecast, was expected to be 0.5%. And it was 4.2%. So nearly they're 4xing, 4 times the expectations. Damn. That's the big issue, is the difference. The difference between what the market anticipates and what it expects and the hit it takes. We'll have to look at some of the share prices for some of these businesses, the spec home builders. The spec home builders. Because these houses aren't the ones architects are involved in, generally. You don't need an architect for a house like this. You go to a drafty, Or I guess we could work on extensions for these things or particular clients. But a lot of them are spec homes. They're drawn up once. They're just copy and pasted from one site to another, which frankly is fine. It's what most people want, what they need, and it's cheaper. Although there are ways that I would argue we could cost save in these things. And it's annoying how much of these houses are just rendered styrofoam or polyurethane. Yeah, that's kind of scary once you get to know that. It gets people really angry, actually, when they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for foam. But anyway, so let's go through this data from new home sales for May from the Housing Industry Association. And I will link to it if you want to go through their full data sample here. But, the change is worrying enough. The announcement of home builder should arrest the fall in new home sales and improve market confidence. Now, here's the thing. They're arguing that it'll improve market confidence. Consumer confidence is still very low. And my concern with this, and we discussed this in an earlier article that Jason Murphy wrote, is the fact that you now have the trading while insolvent rules pretty much on holiday. So there can be a lot of businesses that should go bust in the construction sector that haven't. And now those rules are removed in September. So I wouldn't even be looking at signing anything until, here's the kicker, with this housing new home builder grant that you need to sign before the end of the year, And if you're financing yourself, you don't get paid till the end. So you've got to sign a contract with a builder during a period where there's been ability for them to trade while insolvent. So you've got to really do your checks on these people you're signing these contracts with because of this new risk that's been created by the government. That hits my confidence more than anything else. Because I'm involved in the game and I know how concerning it can be, or how builders can take money from one job and then use it to pay another and just keep everything moving. And then when they collapse and go under, everyone suffers. That's the problem. They're propping everything up too much. So you can have zombie companies, your businesses that should go under. You've got people that are probably working now for a business, a tradie, where the business is trading while insolvent, they don't know, and you don't get paid 45-day terms, 90-day terms sometimes. This is why I love all the the economic advice and business advice from people who've never actually run a business on how to have opinions on running businesses, particularly all the union kings. And it's challenging, and particularly for these tradie guys, because they've got to pay for all the crap that is fixed to the building, and then the owner will sign off on it, the architect will inspect it and go, yep, that's been fixed in, you compensated for that. It gets paid to the builder. The builder will often sign a stat dec saying that they paid everyone, which is not worth anything. It is not worth anything. The courts have declared, a director can't be held account of that, even though they've signed an oath under the Act. So that's been thrown out. They're worthless. We try and do all these tricks to make sure the subbies get paid, and it never works. I'm too cynical about it all, guys, and it makes me angry because people who are doing the work aren't getting paid. Anyway, back to this. The pandemic restrictions have been in place for 3 months. Over this time, new home sales have displayed consistently weak results as consumer confidence fell away. Building a new home is one of the largest purchasing decisions that households can make in their lifetime. Given the uncertainty in the economy, households chose to cancel or delay housing purchase decisions. Yes, we've seen that in other examples. Some people even walking away from deposits. New home sales in the 3 months to May 2020 were lower by 20.3% than the previous 3 months. Compared to the same 3 months last year when the federal election was held and there was uncertainty surrounding housing taxation policies, sales have fallen by 18.2%. The decline in sales since the introduction of the pandemic restrictions were further compounded by an increase in the cancellation rate of projects. The cancellation rate is the share of projects that were cancelled in that month relative to the number of sales. Typically, the cancellation rate is around 7% of new home sales due to changes in a household's financial situation or a change of mind. The cancellation rate in April exceeded 30% and has been relatively consistent throughout the pandemic period, with a rate of 26% in May. The cancellation rate was significantly higher during the period than levels seen during previous shocks such as the GFC. So this tells you this is going to be different. People are bloody worried. 30%, guys, 26%. And I mean, just looking at these differences from 8% forecast to 23, from 0.5 to 4%. It's a lot going down is a lot quicker than climbing back up, everyone. Just remember that. If you go down 20%, you need to go up more than 20% to climb back up. The pandemic-related fall in new home sales occurred at a time when work on the ground had already contracted by 18% since mid-2018 due to the natural cooling of the home building cycle, which was further exacerbated by restrictions on the access to finance. This sustained fall in the new home sales over the past 3 months would typically flow through to a reduction in the volume of work on the ground for most jurisdictions during the September 2020 quarter. The announcement of the Home Builder Program in June should arrest the fall in new home sales and improve market confidence. This in turn improves the outlook for residential building in the second half of the year and wider economy. So this is HIA, written article or written research. They're going to be lobbying for home builder. They're all about it. In addition to home builder, a number of state governments have initiated their own programs that will positively impact home building activity in the second half of 2020. The advice I'd give to anyone who's looking at taking advantage of home builder, make sure the builder that you're signing up with is solvent. Pay extra. Get information. Get letters and data from their accountant. Get their figures. You want to see their cash flow. You want to make sure they're solvent. That's the advice I would give you, to just be thorough. Be very thorough. Don't trust them. Even the big boys can go under, everyone. We've seen it too many times here in Australia. Across the jurisdiction, South Australia has seen the largest decline, falling by 31.7 in the 3 months to May, compared to the previous 3 months, followed by New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland, and Victoria. So we have just the sample of their data, which you can read the full thing from their website, and I'll link to that in the referral link below. Or not referral link, my references on the website. You can see that in the pinned comments below. But, I mean, damn, everyone. Big moves. Will home builder save this industry? Are you going to take advantage of it? Or are you a little worried about where everything is headed? We'll have to just see. And how will this affect the share prices of some of these big specky home builders? As always, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply commenting, liking, interacting with the channel. It's a great way to help the channel grow and to overcome the limitations of the YouTube algorithm. We also have the ability for you to join the channel on YouTube or Patreon, or to support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, you can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Thanks everyone. I will see you in the next video.